Hey guys, it's Alex. A couple of minutes of your time, as I know you're super busy and probably don't have time to read all that stuff that I'm sending you. I think I've given up some time ago. So, especially for you folks who are coming for the first time, I'm hoping those couple of images will help you get oriented so that you can find your place easier, and especially in the first couple of days. So, if you have 10 minutes, sit down and have a look. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday morning, just turning at the parking lot in front of the Alpine Lodge. I thought I'll give you a little run around town to show you guys who haven't been here just the lay of the land. Passing Sarah Cafe here on my left, driving along Main Street westbound. Behind my back is the Alpine Lodge and supermarket, restaurants, and all that good stuff. So I know it's difficult and there's a lot of things to read, so I thought while you're watching this I'll take time to remind you about a couple of things that you should spend some time on over the next few days before you leave. This is Four Corners. This building directly in front of me on the left is Tannery Pond. Beautiful community center, and that's where we're having movie and presentations on Monday night. Parking is behind there on the right hand side, and there's also a little parking on the left as well. So I'm turning north, and in front of me there would be Route 28. There's a car there turning left. That's where I'm going to go as well. Most of you, actually all of you who are coming through Canada by way of Ogdensburg and Tupper Lake, Saranac Lake, Blue Mountain Lake, and so on, Indian Lake, are going to come from the right. Driving through North River, you're going to be coming from my right, passing by this intersection, I guess on the way to Summit or wherever your home rental is. Oops. And the way to the mountain for you guys coming this way would be a little bit ahead of us on the right. So I'm driving on Route 28, I guess south. Beautiful day, lots of snow. There was a snowfall 3 days ago, I think about 60 centimeters, and they're expecting another one later on tomorrow. So snow is not an issue. You can't see it from my camera, but I'm just passing by the ski bowl. This is where the tubing park is, and also access to a mountain called Little Gore, something that was opened back in the 20s. And it's been fairly small in size until last year when they made a connector connecting this mountain to the Big Gore, up where the big action is. Yeah, so I mean, in terms of things you need to bring beyond the obvious, like your wife and kids or husband's passport and money, I specifically wanted to call out to those of you who are bringing someone else's kids that you should have a written statement. I know there is a form of Government of Canada website, or if nothing else, you can just write a letter, have both parents sign it to make sure you're not turned back at the U.S. Customs if you're bringing somebody's kid. So I'm going to turn right here to go to the mountain. Summit would be just maybe half a kilometer, not even that, up the hill there. So this is Peaceful Valley Road, and just beautiful scenery all over the place. Those houses on the left are not for rent. That's I guess the welfare community. To the right is a little Valhouse Motel, where typically we've never stayed in the past. Fairly basic but good location. So I mentioned that I'll send a file called Things You Need to Know Before, During, and After Your Trip to Gore Mountain. I will do my best to put all relevant information there in one PDF file so you can print it off on Friday before you head down and just have everything in one place. In terms of the logistics, I know some of you come on Sunday, some on Saturday, so your first ski day would be either Sunday or Monday. And there are exceptions, of course. Just to call out, there is a sign here, Gore Mountain, so I'm going to turn right. If if anybody's staying in the Pine Ridge or Pine Village, it's a little bit further up on this road. So Gore Mountain ski area, more Gore. What was I saying? Accommodation, yeah. So you make sure that you have everything you need from whoever you rent it from in terms of, key, access, address, all that good stuff. Make sure you bring the money for deposit or whatever arrangements you made. I know you need to take care of that right upon your arrival. So I'll talk a little bit more about the mountain and where you pick up the tickets when I get up. Just briefly about the schedule of the week. So on Monday there is a movie and presentation at the Tannery Pond Center in two groups, one at 7, one at 8:30. I know there's still some space, especially on the later one, so for those of you who've never been, I would encourage you to find the time, even though sometimes it's hard. You have a beer or two and then you need to get up, round up the kids and come, but it is something that you typically wouldn't see back at home. And by that I especially mean bring the kids, because those are not Hollywood movies. Probably, I think I'm going to show a movie from our George River expedition last summer to the Labrador, and a short feature by Jovan Memedovic about something that he has done back in Serbia and Yugoslavia. That's Monday night at the Tannery Pond, 7 or 8:30, and I already called out a documentation I put on a website about helping sick kids hospital or for cancer kids patients back in Belgrade, with a little note from the Consul General of Serbia in Toronto. Although the entrance to the movie presentations are free, I always encourage you to make a donation if you can to help a good cause. Tuesday is the volleyball game. So I already know we had some traction and people have signed up. Dan tells me we have I don't know, 5 or 6 teams of 5 and 6, so we do some kind of tournament. The school is in the town of North Creek. It's called Johnsburg Central School, and you can Google it on the web, or you can ask anybody around. It's at the Four Corners, where you saw me stop at the stop sign. You would have go right through that intersection, up the hill, and on the right you can see the school from many places. And of course I encourage you, even though you may not be playing volleyball, to come, because it's a super fun event, and there's nothing like seeing our kids play volleyball because they're so talented. Wednesday we have a group shoot, photo shoot at 12 noon at the Bunny Hill behind the main lodge. It's the beginner's hill, and we'll do something special this year. We want to make sure we mark this memorable occasion, our 10th anniversary of coming to Gore. So we'll do, with our, I guess, warm bodies, a sign that says "More Gore," and they're going to shoot from the top of the lodge. I think it's going to be super fun, and please do come in numbers, because this is one photo that you probably will want to have in years to come. So here you can see the mountain. This is in front of me. The lodge is called Northwoods Lodge. That's the new lodge. Just passing by the old lodge. In between is the access to the mountain, to the lodge, and to the lifts. We will pick up our tickets here at the Northwoods Lodge. At the main entrance, as soon as you go in, first office on the right, there's that little window. I can see it from here. Cindy and Ellen will be working there, so make sure you say hi. They're super nice girls. They've been doing this for many years. They probably know most of you, and that would be right here. That's when you come and pick up your tickets. Inside is also the rentals and the kids club, all that stuff. That's Wednesday. On Thursday we have a race. Yes, make sure when you pick up your envelopes, make sure if you want to race, and I don't see why you wouldn't, everybody did last year and had great fun, make sure you give them the signed race form, which you can find on the internet, on the website at skianya.ca, or they have some hard copies here in the office. But the idea is to do this at the time when you pick up your tickets. You can't be doing that on Thursday, and that's something I try to impress upon you. You have to invest a little time in preparation to make sure you have a good time, because the girls have to enter all those forms in the computer, and it's just it helps them if you give them a few days time. That's on Thursday. Races from 10 to 2, I believe, at the Twin Fawn. If you're looking up the mountain hill, it's going to be on the left side, but you'll see the race course and so on.
This is the Northwoods Lodge from the other angle, and you can see the parking lot behind it. To the left, this is the old lodge, the main lodge. That's where the party is going to be. That's the place where we hang out on the sunny days. And this is the base from where the gondola starts. And that's where most of the trails terminate, at least on this mountain. So we have a lot of fun just watching people come down, and that's the lineup for the gondola. There's no lineup right now, but that's where you enter. Now this is driving back to the North Creek, taking the right turn off 28. To the left, you barely saw, there was a little ski bowl cafe. A couple of 100 meters to the Four Corners stop sign, at which point most of us go left on Main Street to go to the shopping, Alpine Lodge, supermarket, wine store, bars, restaurants, and so on. But right now I'm going to take a right turn to stop by the town's office. You're looking at Tannery Pond. That's where we're having movie presentation on Monday. And the parking is a little bit behind Tannery Pond, and on the other side of Tannery Pond, behind the city office, there's extra parking there as well. I can see a beautiful day, and this was recorded on Wednesday. Today on Thursday we got so much snow. It's been falling since midnight last night. Everything is white. We must have gotten maybe 1.5 feet of new snow today. And this is the view coming down the main street. Sarah's Cafe is going to come up on the right hand side. Behind Sarah's Cafe, very quickly, Alpine Lodge. Supermarket across the street on the other side. And just down the street, on the same side as Alpine Lodge, is Marsha's restaurant. It looks like a inexpensive express restaurant. And the next building here on the right with this canopy is Bar Vino, the place where I like to hang out the most. This is, I think, Common Roots at the ground level of this building. Supermarket on the left, Trapper's Tavern a little bit further down on the left in Copperfield Inn. So folks, that's pretty much the rundown. Those of you who know the place will probably be bored watching this, and this is me just pulling back into the parking lot of the Alpine Lodge. So that's it. I'll see you in a couple of days, and drive safely. See you soon.